Hello, Facebook Live. How are you tonight? Melanie Ann Layer coming to you here live on my personal page. If this is the first time that you have ever caught me live in your whole entire life, please let me know that this is your first time watching. And if you tend to watch me quite a little bit, then I hope that you would say hello. And if you are watching the replay, then you can hashtag AlphaFem, and then I'll know that you watched the replay. It is the season of legends, the season of legends. And what does that mean? So first things first, I would love to know who has seen the animation on my page over the last few days. Did you see what we dropped? Do you have a feeling about what Season of Legends is? Have you seen the animation that we dropped? So let me know if you have watched that. Hi, Jamie. Hello, Devon. Hello, Jamie. Hello, Carlene, Shamika, Allison. Hello. Alpha Fem team in the house. Jay. Hello, Jennifer. So good to see you. Stasia, Sharon, Kimberly. Yay. All right. So there's some interesting things that are happening. Leah says, I'm in AFE, but almost the first time live. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Hi, Leah. Sending love to all the ladies. Shilamita in the house. Hello, hello. So the first thing that I'm going to ask is if you know of a person in this world that is building their legacy, if you believe that the world may need this message, please share. We are going to be doing a draw, a very special one, because the last time I went live, there was a crystal water bottle. It hasn't been drawn yet. And to make it extra fun, there's going to be a trio of notebooks that we are going to be drawing. So this is a big draw. A crystal water bottle plus 3 Alpha Fem notebooks. These are usually $55 on the website, and the crystal water bottle is $111. So there's a lot happening right now. If you do share this, make sure you tell me in the comments that you shared so my team can find you, because we're going to be drawing this on my page in the next few days. So it's going to be a trio, the Alpha, Fem, and Alpha Fem notebooks, all 3. So if you do share, make sure you let me know so my team can be notified and then put you in the draw for the next couple of days. Hi, Susie. Amy. Yay, so good. Hi, Liz. So we have a big conversation to have together today. I want to talk to you about building a legacy, what it really means to take it on in life, to decide that you want to be legendary. Now, this live is not for everyone, because it's not everyone's dream to create something that transcends time. It isn't everyone's dream, and for some people, they don't know. It's not like a no in their body. It's not like, I don't want that. It's maybe just, I don't know yet if I want that. So I'm curious, who here has ever had the feeling like they are meant for really big things? It's inexplicable. It makes no sense. Most people think maybe you're crazy, and still in your body, there is a feeling like you were meant to do big things. You came here, and in your heart and your mind, you knew there was something big that you were meant to do here. Maybe you're figuring out, maybe you've already started. Whatever it is that you're doing, you can feel you're meant to do big things here. So what is it about being legendary? And what is it that we're doing here that's so entirely different than just trying to succeed on social media or just trying to be known as a business owner? Like what's the difference between that frequency and the frequency of becoming a living legend? So we are in times right now that are unprecedented. It is such an incredible time to be alive, and it's such an incredible time for the people who have a deep stirring inside that they were meant for something big, because it has never been easier to create your own stage. Until now, to be listened to be heard was a hard thing in this world. Like we had to have someone put us on a stage somewhere. No, unless we had the power to gather hundreds of people in a space, it wasn't possible to speak and be heard. But today, it's possible to create your own stage. It's possible to speak and the world listens when you figure out your it factor, when you figure out what it is that you're meant to do here, and you learn how to embody it in a massive way. It's never been easier than it is now when you actually get the frequency of legendary. So Season of Legends is something that is so important for me because in my life right now, the magic that is occurring is out of this world. If you follow me on social media, there's a new millionaire that's popping in the Alpha Femme brand every couple of months, at first at the beginning of the year, and now it seems like every few weeks we've got someone celebrating $1 million. Women are crossing $100,000 months, and multiple 6-figure years, and 10K months are just popping. Like, we are revolutionizing wealth and what it means to be a wealthy woman, but there's another part to that. It's not just about the money that we make, it's also about our message, what we were born to say, the things we were meant to say here in this lifetime. And I've been watching because my clients have been asking me questions about things that are going on social media, some things in the industry. What do you think about this? What do you think of people who say this? And what do you think about people who say that? And I feel like what we're really seeing here is there's different kinds of people out for different kinds of goals. And when your goal is to be legendary, you're in a very different world than most of the things that are occurring on social media right now. There is a world beyond the petty stuff. It's so big and it's so bold and you're so busy that there's no time for that. Like the time to change the world is now. And the last thing you have time to do is anything but that. There's so much magic in becoming a legend and creating things that are your own message and your own mission, your own things where your people start saying what you say, like they quote you all of a sudden. All of a sudden people are quoting you on social media and they're sharing all your stuff and people know you, you're a household name. Like, how does that happen? Well, there's a frequency to that. And it's not always easy to hold that frequency because there is a lot of noise. And there are a lot of opportunities to tangle in things that legends don't tangle with. So it's going to be difficult sometimes in the beginning to feel like you've got to play ball with some of these things, but you don't. You can decide that you exist on a frequency far beyond that now. Thank you so much for sharing, Kelly. That means so much. And if you do share, please make sure to let me know in the comments because we are going to be drawing 3 notebooks and a crystal water bottle this week. So make sure you let me know if you have shared. So what we want to do here is we want to build, it's like a whole different category, I think. This is how I feel about it. It's just a whole other category. There's nothing wrong about the other categories. They're just not the one I'm interested in. There's nothing wrong with the way everybody's doing it. It's just not what I'm focused on. And you may be watching the way people do things and you may feel really aligned with some things and super not aligned with other things, and that's perfect. The goal is to find what lights you up like a firecracker, because if you were born for this, if you were meant for great things, then you're probably feeling a little bit frustrated and run down with how small some of the conversations are. There's like big things to talk about in the world and we need big people to talk about them, and there's some huge lessons to be learned, and there's some big moves to be made, and like, who's going to make those moves? We've got to move. There's things to do on this planet. We are not just in a time where it's possible to make legends. We are in the season of legends. The time of building legends is now. People are going to start talking about this era where people just found themselves and blew up in a way that makes no sense. Like, this is it. There was a beginning to every single thing that worked. There was a beginning to, reality TV, and there was a beginning to anything that became trendy that made people very wealthy. There was a beginning to that. And right now, we are in one of the most pivotal times. And I know that we're in a pivotal time because of how much chaos is here. It's when there's chaos that it's the most powerful, because it's the most opportunity for leadership. Leadership is when there's beauty available and a storm equally available. And you got to decide what you're going to be a part of and how you're going to navigate the storms on the way to what you want to do. This is a big big mission if you want it, if you choose it for your life, to be someone whose name is remembered, someone whose work is renowned, someone who is known. And it's not for everybody. You may be watching this and think, you know what, that's not even for me, and that's okay. This conversation is for the people who know deep inside that there is something. And this is at every level. Like, I have clients that come to me at every level wanting to speak about this kind of conversation. And what I found is that there's just not enough people talking about this level of conversation. Like, this is so much bigger than just hitting a certain amount of followers or succeeding to a certain income level. This is more than that. This is bigger than that. And if you can feel this, then we're having a conversation that matters for both of us. Like, for me, for you, for us, all of us having this conversation here. So what I want to bring to the table, what I want to bring to the world, the conversation I want to lead, is how we really expand into a massive, legendary leap that makes history. The time where people actually reclaimed their power, where women, because I am a leader that leads women right now in my life, that women really took their place and created the most extraordinary season history had ever seen for women yet. The season of legends. So many of us paving the way, so many of us making a difference. In one moment, the whole world pivoted so fast because so many people were willing to claim. Not one at a time, not one every decade, not one once in a while, not one with a predictable pattern of every few years one person makes it big enough that it matters to talk about. A season where legends were born every day for years, and it changed the world. Because there will never be enough of us to support an entire world change. So it's not like this world is going to be saturated with leaders. But this is a time where we can be part of a movement, part of the time in the history where the world changed. And for that, we've got to be talking about something that's so much bigger than what we've been talking about lately. There's something so much bigger than this. There's something so much greater than this. And you can probably feel it. If you're like me, when you turn your head and look at what's happening, there's a big question mark. Is this the best we've got? It's not the best we've got. It isn't even close to the best we've got. There is so much magic to talk about. I think it's time we figure out what we want to say, because I highly doubt that this is our best. And if we're going to make a huge impact with the opportunity we were given, then we got to raise the bar. And I'm very excited about raising the bar for people who want to make a mark, make a difference on this planet now, and want to feel like they can conquer themselves, the courage it takes, the discipline it takes to not get caught up in petty things, the communication skills, the vision, the inner strength, the emotional mastery, all the parts that it takes in order to be a leader for the ages, not just for a minute, not just for a week, not just a flavor of the month or of the year, but someone who actually creates lasting change, that says things that helps people, that says things that changes people, elevates people. Companies that don't just expire after 5 years, that thrive beyond 5 years. That 5 years is just the practice run. That 5 years is just the beginning. Like, at the 5-year mark, you ain't seen nothing yet. Not giving companies 5 years to make it or break it. Something so much bigger than that. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing. It means the world. And the thing is, there's so many people that are ready for astronomical global change, but because the conversations everywhere are so small and so petty, it feels like it's just not, everything's too small. The shoe's too small. We're looking for something that expands us. We're looking for something that sets our soul on fire, for conversations so big they lift our spirits. I don't know about you, but I'm in the mood for a big conversation. I'm in the mood to find uniqueness. I want to see your individuality. I want to see women find their way, their unique voice, beyond what's predictable, beyond what's even possible. because there's so much yet to uncover in this world, and there's so many different kinds of women that have yet to be seen in the spotlight. And it's time to have diversity across the board. I want to see people that look different, that sound different, that act different. I want to see difference everywhere, but powerful, standing for things, speaking into things, leading with strength and power and certainty and courage. And I think the world is ready. It's ready for us to take that place and claim it and own it. For a huge mark to be made, a historical mark, a season of legends. I see it and I feel it, and I know that it's happening. It really honestly feels like popcorn popping, because I'm seeing the women in my world just expand and grow and skyrocket and be heard and seen and make a difference. And it's like, this is really what this work is about. So if you've been feeling inside like you are ready for a big conversation, I want to talk to you about what's happening in the Alpha Femme brand right now, because this is a conversation that I believe will generate a lot of change on the planet. It's something that when we show up in all of our power to have conversations like these, and we bring our energy, our time, our focus, our energy to this conversation, things start to happen, things start to change. Now, in the Alpha Femme brand, there are programs that are set in stone. And there are things that are not changeable because I run them every year and they're so good and I can't imagine ever getting rid of them. But there's also new things that come through me, which means my programs are constantly evolving and growing and changing to suit what the world needs and to lead from my new point of power and what I've learned since the last rounds every single time. And then there's also very targeted conversations that I want to have with people that I know are so necessary and so required. So I ask myself, what do I do? What do I do with this knowledge? A lot of times I offer free masterclasses, and I think those are absolutely fantastic, and I definitely want to keep doing those so that women can always plug into my work and find something they can listen to. But there are certain things that need some sort of commitment. They need commitment for two reasons. For me, so that when I show up, I actually know that the people who are there are not there by accident, that they made some sort of investment of themselves in order to be there. It changes the way I show up. But also for the people who are listening, there's an energetic exchange that's very different with time and money. If time were enough, we'd already have changed the world, but people need to feel like they've invested something in order to receive a return. It's like this reciprocity law that I've come to understand since the beginning of my coaching career. So there are certain ones that it doesn't really matter what the price point is, whether it's a $20,000 offer, whether it's a $88 offer, there's something about the financial exchange that changes the game. So this conversation, I considered creating and adding as part of one of my major, huge programs that I have, and just making it a big part of that program. Then I also considered doing a free masterclass. And the fact is, the information is too potent for a free masterclass, and it is also unique enough that I wouldn't want to add it to something. It needs to be something of its own. So I've decided to create a 3-day paid masterclass called the Season of Legends Paid Masterclass. What's really fun about what I'm doing, though, is that when you come to this masterclass, whatever it is that you spend in order to be there with me, I'm going to give you a credit so that you can shop with me during this masterclass, because there are some really pinpointed things I want to talk to you about, and there's an extended conversation that can be added around basically everything I'm going to talk about. So we're going to have a conversation that's going to blow your socks off, it's going to blow my socks off, and it's going to make a radical difference. And at the end of every day, I'm going to leave some space where I'm going to talk to you about what's coming next if it feels like something that you want to elevate into. But it's going to be full on its own. Like, it's going to be its own masterclass, which will be sold separately forever. This will be its own paid thing. But what's going to be different about it is that whatever it is that you spend in here, you will be able to use and purchase something else with it. So you'll be able to use it towards something else, which is fun. So the price for this is only $333. That's it. It's going to be a 3-day masterclass. We're going to then have a live Q&A and a French recap also. So it's going to be 5 days total. 3 days, 1 Q&A, and 1 French one. This is such a huge conversation and so different than most of the things we talk about, because we're not just going to talk about, social media or leadership isolated. We're not going to talk about concepts. We're going to talk about becoming a living legend. We're going to talk about what it takes on the inside to claim yourself in the bigness that you are and allow yourself to be all of that. In the way that you see yourself, in the way that you present yourself, in the relationships that you make, in the way that you speak, in the way that you live your life, like an entire conversation with lifetime access that you're going to get to plug into forever. Anytime you forget for a second why the heck you were born, every time you forget for a second, like why you live and dream of these things, and you're like, why am I even doing this? Nobody gets this. You're going to get to plug back into this conversation and be like, oh yeah, I remember. This is a conversation that will bring you back to your power every single time, because what I have found is the greatest thing that kicks us out of alignment every time is we forget. We forget the bigness of the dream when we're so focused on the smallness of the fear, because the fear feels so big and so real on the inside that it overshadows how big and how great the things we actually want to do are. For a minute, we forget everything we've ever wanted, just so we don't have to experience fear. So plugging back into this conversation over and over again, and the crazy thing about the transmissions I have is they do develop over time. You've got to tell yourself, by the time I share this with you, I've had these thoughts hundreds of times. I've led women to millions over and over and over again with these concepts. I've, co-facilitated and co-led and co-created hundreds of thousands and hundreds of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars and followers and impact with my clients. By the time I get to telling you this, I've thought it so many times that it's embodied. And then I'm going to say it to you once. So the first time you hear it, it'll be 1 degree of comprehension. The second time, another degree of comprehension. The next time, another degree of comprehension. The more you listen to it, the more it's going to start to feel for you the way it feels for me when I say it. So you get to listen over and over and over and over again. One of the most potent conversations I may have ever had. This isn't about likes on social media anymore. This is so much bigger than that, because I can tell you this, most of the people who are watching you do not like your stuff. Not because they don't like your stuff, but because they're afraid to like your stuff, because they're also trying to be legendary. And you remind them of something. You remind them of their personal power. You remind them of their dreams. And at the same time, you make them fear there may not be enough. And so when they look at you and all your greatness, there's a fear of liking and commenting on what you're doing, because there's an odd chance that it might take away from their spotlight. And I have seen this over and over and over and over again on my journey here. Women who watch and don't share, don't comment, don't like, not because they're not receiving value, but because they're so afraid of sharing something that might take away from their chances to be legendary. That's not gonna fly anymore. We're going to learn to build each other up and do this together. Like, if you've been in my world, you know the saying, like, one of the greats. Like, we are going to build something where we are one of the greats, where it's not about hiding other women in hopes that that will not outshine our goals and dreams and wishes. Like, we are better than that, bigger than that, stronger than that, more powerful than that. And this is the conversation where we ignite that and set it free completely. So if the Alpha team is willing, I would love for you to share the link so I can pin it, because I think there's a few people here who would like to purchase it while I'm live. So if you can just post it, then I'll pin it to the comment section. So I have had so many women come to me and say, like, I don't understand, because everything I'm writing about or everything I'm talking about, I know it's good. I watch my content and I know it's amazing. And for some reason, people don't like my stuff. Like, they don't like it. If you believe that, you act differently. If you believe that it's not working just because the physical likes aren't there, you're doing such a huge disservice to everybody. Let me just pin this to the top. You're doing a big disservice to everybody, because here we are. Because the truth is, most of them are watching you in private. They're watching you without ever telling you. They're watching you without ever telling you. And a big reason for this also is because they're afraid you're going to sell them something. They're afraid that if they like you're gonna try to sell them something or push them into something. Because unfortunately, this is, oh, I think I pinned the wrong thing. Did I? What did I do? I think I did pin the wrong thing. Hang on. Let me pin this. Pin comment. This is the right one. All right. That makes me happy, Sandy. So women want to be together. They're just afraid that, oh yes, by the way, this is in the Alpha Femme experience. So if you are part of the Alpha Femme experience, you do not need to pay for this. It's also included if you purchased the naked offer. This is also included because I am going to be explaining all the details of the naked offer inside of this paid masterclass. So if you're already in there, you don't need to buy that either. You will also receive it. Yeah, I did. I did pin the wrong thing, so I fixed it. So people are watching you, and then they're trying to figure out what you're doing. This is the greatest issue that we've got right now. Instead of women really finding their own personal power and watching women with this like clear, this woman activates me, this woman ignites something in me, let me figure out how I can work with her or pay her. We're like, oh my gosh, what if I try to do something with this woman and then she outshines me? Or maybe I can try to find everything about her without doing anything. Let me just watch. Let me just look, but not give love. And the fact is, let me not show publicly that I'm inspired by this person. Let me not say it out loud, this is the person that inspires me, because what if I do, and then other people find her and then they love her more, or love her instead? This is all about, Jamie, I'm so excited. This is all about being the greatest version of you, so great that there is not one piece of you that feels like another woman's power, art, leadership, success, wealth could ever take away from you and why you were meant to be here. There is not one part of you that needs to hurt or damage another person in order to feel like what you're doing is okay. There is not one part of you that needs to point out what someone else may or may not be doing. You are so clear in what you are doing that you can focus on what you are doing without distraction. You are stronger than you even know. You are more powerful than you even know, but your message may be getting diluted because you're watching other people say things that are the polar opposite than you, and you wonder if you're wrong. Because you're looking for evidence of likes and you're not seeing them, and you think nobody likes your stuff just because they're not actually pressing the button. And you're diluting your message because it doesn't look like people are getting it. That is not the truth. In order to be legendary, you've got to believe you're making history before anybody else does. And if you need to be fighting against the world who believes other things than you in order to believe you have a voice, you're going to fight your whole life. And if you've got to prove a million people wrong in order for you to be allowed to be right, you're going to fight a lot of people. And if you need evidence that people are watching before you're brave enough to say everything you've wanted to say, you're going to wait for a very long time. Because this is something you claim. It's not something that's given to you. It's something that you decide is yours and you go get it. You reach for it. You find the power it takes to speak into it. You claim yourself and your power and your sovereignty and you go for it. This is your thing that you've got to do. You've got to self-appoint yourself. You've got to decide that you are the one, that you were meant for this, that you were born for this, that it is your time. And when you make that decision and nothing can deter you from that, the world will respond. But until then, you'll be tested over and over again to make sure your resolve is strong enough, to make sure that you're actually ready, to make sure that you've actually got what it takes. The fact is, until you are ready to claim this as yours, you're going to be tested over and over and over again to make sure you are. But when it's time and when you're ready, you can start building something where every single thing you do is adding onto itself. You're building and building every single thing you do, whether it's good or bad, whether it's a mistake or a win, whether it's a lesson or a memory, everything you do is building your identity, is building your story, is building your presence here on earth. And it's helping people see you and find you, whether they agree with you or disagree with you, so be it. Whether they love it or they hate it, so be it. When you're ready, then you're ready. And it doesn't matter who doesn't agree. You find one legendary person who was not disagreed with. You don't need everybody to like it. To be honest, you don't even need anybody to like it before you begin. You just have to know that it's your time and claim your power right now, that this is your time. So we're starting this at $333. You have lifetime access to this conversation. And on top of that, the $333 that you spend, you will be able to use to purchase something. So I'm going to be talking about different offers in my world and things that are coming next in my life and in my programs. So if you just want to use the $333 to purchase the 3 days and you're satisfied, that's perfect. I also have programs for $333 that you could actually respend. Like, there's so much available. This is a portal to more. So this is access to the conversation and more. But I want to know when I go live in that group that every person who was there chose to be there, because I've got big things to tell you, and I only want to speak to the people who are really meant to hear this from me. I'm not bothered anymore that there's people who don't like the way I say things or what I say. I understand that. And it's not even a problem, because to be honest, I believe that so many people have got to be heard that if my voice isn't the right voice for you, I have no fear. It just means someone else is going to be the perfect person for you. There's no fear. There's no fear. But what we can be responsible with is how we use our energy and saying like, okay, well, this isn't the right person for me, so I'm going to shut this off, as opposed to this isn't the right person for me, so let me just destroy her on social media. Like, we can be stronger and we can have class on the way to finding our perfect people and our perfect voices. Like, I don't mind if what I'm saying isn't the perfect thing for you. If it is the perfect thing for you, then this is amazing. And if it's not, it's okay. There's so many incredible leaders on the planet right now with a different voice, a different frequency, a different way. There'll never be enough of us to hold everyone and their uniqueness on the planet. This is why it's time. It's time for the emergence of new leaders, new voices, new looks, new styles, new vibes, new sounds, new ways. It's time for new, unique stuff, so we can make a huge jolt and change things, big things. So this is a conversation for big energy. This is a conversation for the women who are like, bring it. This is the conversation for the women who have that like anxious feeling on the inside constantly, like there's more on the horizon, and want to be held in that feeling, want to turn it into butterflies and excitement. This is the conversation that sets everything in motion to the next level. We're moving into the end of the year. There's so much that happens around endings. We get so many realizations. We get so many breakthroughs. It's like somehow all of a sudden something's set free inside of us. Like, you know what? I'm doing this. I said this was my year. I said it was my time. Like, it's now. It's my time. You've got to make that decision for yourself. So if this feels aligned for you, I would love to see you there. You're going to see it in my Instagram story. If you're not following me on Instagram, I am at AlphaFemme or at Melanie Ann Layer. I have both on Instagram. You can follow me here on Facebook on my personal page. If we're not friends on Facebook yet, add me as a friend. Make sure you do the see first thing. The algorithm kind of messed up a little bit when Facebook crashed, and I know a lot of people who used to see me don't see me anymore. So if you select see first, at least to make sure when I am going live or when I'm posting things that you're finding me. And let's step into this next level conversation together. I feel a magic about 2022. Like, I feel a shock factor around 2022. Like, the world is going to pivot in a massive way. And I want to walk with the women who want to see that happen. And there's going to be women who are going to do it in different ways than me, and that's fantastic. But if when I speak, you feel it, then I'd love to walk with you through this season of Legends, and then beyond that if it feels like a fit. I am grateful for your presence on this masterclass live. If you feel that this needs to be shared, if there are people who are feeling the vibes of this, like, I want my community to know, people deserve to know this, I want people to be able to find this woman, please share. And if you do share, please make sure to comment in the comment section that you have shared it so my team can find you, because over the next few days, I'm going to be drawing these 3 notebooks, the Alpha Femme and Alpha Femme notebooks. These are usually $55 on the website, but someone is going to be winning these, and also the crystal water bottle. So if you share, please let me know. If you're looking for the link, it's very easy right here at the bottom, www.melanieannlayer.com/seasons-of-legends with an S, or you can just press the pinned link. It's also going to be in my Instagram stories. It's going to be in my Instagram bio, and I will make sure to make a post on my personal page so you can find it as well. Now, if you are speaking French, so for those of you, and I can see some of you are French speaking, there is going to be a French recap of this. So it's going to be three classes, one on each day for 3 days. Then there's going to be a live Q&A where you're going to be able to interact with me and ask questions. And then there's also going to be a French version. If you are in the Alpha Femme experience, this is a gift for you. It is included in your Alpha Femme experience. If you are in the Naked offer, this is also included, because I'm going to be opening the floodgates of information inside of the Naked, or inside of the Season of Legends, all about the Naked offer. So I am excited beyond belief. Thank you for your time. Sending you magic and excitement. I'm so excited for those of you who are in. I've seen a bunch of those. I'm in. This is amazing. Thank you so much. And I will see you on the internet. Bye.